Hello, this is Sue from dragoncreations.co.uk, and today I'm going to show you how to make crinkle. We're going to do the Octagon coaster set, so I shall show you how to make the whole lot. First of all, right, numbers. I made up 130 grams, which is 68A and 62B, and then I decanted 40 grams. So it's just clear, nothing added, but I've decanted 40 grams. Now the reason I've decanted 40 grams is because I'm going to pour into the feet of the coaster house, but I'm going to add glitter to it, and I need the rest of the resin to be clear. So this is just gold holographic glitter that I just got off Amazon. I'm only going to add a teeny tiny amount just to give it a little bit of bling. So this is a now how did they call it? Small cocktail stirrer. That's the category it's under in Amazon, but it's brilliant for mica powder. So I'm literally going to dip it in and shake it off. So I've got the tiniest amount on there. I'm just going to put that in there. I only want a little bit of sparkle in it. Put the lid back on that, and then we shall stir that in. Make sure we get all our glitter in there. Now I have something else that I'm going to add as well. You know that I'm quite dragon mad. Well, I found these, and they're dragon charms. They do come with a loop on, but they're very easy to cut off with a pair of wire cutters. Just snip the loops off and you're left with charms, and they come in silver, gold, copper and brass. So I've decided I'm going to put the charms that way up, that way out, because they've got a raised bit on that side, into the feet of my coaster house. Because me and my dragons, I do like dragons, if you hadn't guessed. Oh, talking about dragons, don't forget to join our Facebook group, Dragon Creations Everything Resin. Post your pictures in there for me. Do you know, I'm getting ahead of myself, totally ahead of myself. I haven't sprayed this. Isopropyl alcohol. Just going to give it a quick spray. Get rid of the bubbles. I need that out as well for the other bit. Right, okay. So I'm just going to pour straight into the feet. Now I think 40 grams will be enough. If not, we can always add a little bit more. I guesstimated they took about 10 each, you see. Oh, look at that, not far off at all. I could add a teeny bit more, so I'm just going to take some more out of my cup, put it into this one because all the glitter's in this one. Right, so while I've got some left, I'm just going to coat my dragons. So I've got 4 dragons, one for each foot. So I'll just coat them in resin. Help get rid of any of the bubblies. Now I've got to make sure I get these the right way up. So they need to go upside down and face outwards. And they fit so well. But I'm just going to bring their tails up to the top and point them away slightly so they're not in contact. There. I hope you can see that. Let me pick this up ever so carefully so you can see how I've got my dragon in there. Can you see that? So I'm going to do that with all the others. So we want them to go up, down, head first, and then the picture needs to go towards the outside. So ideally, let me get them on my stick properly. Right, we're going to put it in that way, pointing down, like that. So they become friends now. So again, that way, so his tummy has got the raised ridges on and his head goes down first. Straighten them up in a minute. And then that one as well. There, so that's our 4 dragons. Now I'll just make sure their tails are pointing the right way, and then just tilt them away from the mould. Okay, that's our dragons in, and that's brought up our levels so that the feet, so 40 grams would have been enough for the dragons in, so maybe 45 if you're not putting anything in. I might as well use all my resin because I don't like to waste it. Just keep it to the corners, don't let it go in the middle. Okay, I'm just going to put that aside for 1 minute and let all the bubbles come off before I go on to the next stage with this. And yes, I know I've got a big splodge there. Messy pup. Alright, so I'll just put that over there 2 seconds. Mo's made an appearance. I've just had to block the door off. Right, so let's just put that to one side for the moment. Now, I have already cut my shower curtain. So we need a square for the coaster house, and then we need 4 octagons for our coasters. Now, I already cut these because I have used these so many times, and it is worth just buying a cheap shower curtain because you get so many uses out of it, so long as you clean them once you've used them. And once you've cut them to shape, you shouldn't need to cut them again. So I've got my moulds. What I'm going to do is just give them a quick spritz. They were clean, I promise. Okay, and that one's for the house, but I can't use that one at the moment. I'll come back to that. Right, okay, here we go. So, look, I use glitter in something else. Once you use glitter, that's it. It's around forever. Right, so I'm going to pour about 20 grams into each. So I'm just going to pour it into the middle and let it find its way. But don't forget to save some for your coaster house bottom. Don't put it all in. Because this is the first stage when we add our plastic. So this amount should cover the coasters and the bottom of the house. So we only need a very thin coat. Right, I'm going to save that for my house. And if they don't go to the edge, just give them a little bit of a nudge. So make sure all your edges are covered. I'll just let them settle for a moment. While that's doing that, I can debubble my house corners, because hopefully all the bubbles would have come to the surface by now. And then I'm going to pour. I'm not going to go into the corners, I'm going to go along the edges and let the resin find its own way into the corners, because I don't want the glitter to spread too much. So it should just be enough, because the coaster house itself isn't as deep as the coasters on the bottom, so you shouldn't need that much, because we've also got to put a base coat on it, a backing coat on it, sorry. So then we just spread this out. So it's got a nice thin layer. Make sure you've got no fish eyes. That's where the resin divots and you can still see the mould through it. Yeah, that was just enough. So any I've got left I can now put into my moulds, or on the side of my moulds obviously. And these are, as I said, the Let's Resin Octagon moulds, and they come in a set with square and circle. It's an 18-piece set, and it's only £20 in England, which I thought was very reasonable considering how many times you can use it over and over again. Plus I got bored with circles and squares, so I wanted to do something different. I'm just going to wipe my stick off on the edge there. There. Right, I'm just going to spray some alcohol onto my hands. Because I don't want any resin on my plastic. Right, okay. I'm not going to debubble because I am going to spray it with isopropyl alcohol. No, you didn't tell me that, did you? You didn't tell me there's a bit there that I'd missed. I really just saw that in the light. I would have been so annoyed. As I say, it's a very, very thin coat in the house, the coaster house, because you haven't got much room to play with. So just check all your coasters, all the corners have got resin touching them. Yeah, that's fine. I know my measurements are close, but it should be fine. Right, now, so we've got a square one for the coaster house. I'm going to spray it, and I'm also going to spray the resin. Just a quick light spray, and then I'm going to let gravity find its way. And with my silicone stick. I'm just gonna give it a little bit of a encouragement and try and make sure I don't get any bubbles. That's another reason that I didn't debubble, because I knew I'd be using quite a bit of alcohol. See, there's a bubble there, but I'm not so worried about that because that's in the actual leg. Sorry, I'm not sure. There, and that's it. So when you cut your shape, just take your time to make sure it's a nice fit. And we don't want to push it too far up the side, especially in the house, because if you push it too far up the side, it will actually come out the side of the house. So I'm just going to cut that corner because it's not sitting as flush as I'd like. There. I just wanted it to sit flat and not come up the sides. Any bubbles you should be able to chase out, unless it's really stubborn like that one, which I'm not going to be able to get out without lifting it, I don't think. Right in the corner. There, gone. Right, so that is, I'm quite happy with that. And I shall just put that to one side to set. And now we do exactly the same with our coasters. So spray your coaster and spray your plastic. And then if you've used your plastic before, make sure you've got all the bits off, which I thought I had. Oh, it's in the plastic, okay. And then just let them find their way. There. And then once you've got them in, you can just gently make sure you've got no bubbles. If you have, you should be able to chase them out. And as I say, we don't want it to go up the sides too much. And if they do, you can always give them a little bit of a chop. But clean your scissors afterwards. And I spotted a bubble there as well. There he is, come on, out. There, that's that one. Oh, look at the size of that bubble. So let's get rid of him first. Okay, let's try again with this one. That bubble right in the middle again. Doesn't like this bit of plastic for some reason. If you do get bubbles, don't go in with a flame, because we've just sprayed lots of alcohol on this. So just gently pop them with whatever you're using, or chase them towards the edge. Right, let's try again. So take your time doing this bit. If you do have bubbles and you can't chase them towards the edge, just take it out and start again. With this one, oh, that's a big bubble. Can I chase these out without taking them out? Oh, skills. I think that was more luck than judgment. There. As I say, I've used these so many times that they do fit, but it depends which one I've put them in before. Also check your corners for bubbles as well. I mean, a few bubbles in there doesn't matter. It's when you get really big ones, you want to chase them out. Because when we put our chameleon powder on, they won't really show. So, as long as there's not too many. Well, this is going to need a chop. This one's a bit big. Just in that corner. That's it. Okay, I'm really happy with them actually. Right, I shall cover these and leave them to totally set. So I will not do anything else until these are set now. So I shall see you tomorrow when these have set and we can take our plastic off. So I shall see you then. Bye for now. Right, we're back. I've already peeled the plastic off, which came off like a dream because these are set now. And I've dusted 3 of them, and I'm going to dust this one just to save time so you don't have to sit and watch me dust. So I'm using chameleon powder, flashing brown, red, purple. It's not a Let's Resin, it's just a generic one. And then I'm using Let's Resin blue. Now with the flashing brown, lovely colour, I hope you can see that. I am literally going to use the smallest amount just to highlight a few of the bumps. So just dipping that in, lid back on that before I knock it over. I hope you can see that it's just highlighted some of it, not all of it. And then I'm going to go all over with my blue, just to give it a little bit of a different flash in the light. Make sure you go up the sides as well. So really work it in there. That's why I did them off camera, just to save a little bit of time, and so you didn't have to sit through and watch me dust. There. So I'll just quickly go and blow this out. Put a lid on that before I knock it over. Right, so now I've made up 160 grams, which is 84A and 76B, and I added my Vista Colours resin colour pigment, and it's black. It is really dark black, and I added 6 drops of that. So it's a really, you can't even see the spatula through it. It's a very pigmented. It is a liquid, but it's a very thick liquid. Right, so I will do the coaster house first, because I've worked out these coasters can take 60 grams full. So I worked out if I put another 35 on top, they should just be level and shouldn't dome. That's a theory anyway, but the coaster house bottom isn't as thick, so I'm only allowing 20 grams for this. If I have to make up more, I have to make up more, but I'd rather make up a little less to start off with, because with all the peaks and falls that we've created, it also adds a little bit of volume. Okay, I'll let that settle, and then I shall just go around the edges first, because there's some dips in the edges. So I'll fill them in. I mean, you don't have to put black on. I've put deep blue on before. I've even put red on. But it does work best with a dark colour. Oh, look, I didn't put a cup in it. Didn't notice that, did I? Right, just leave that to one side to totally leave it on its side. Any that's left in that cup should come to the to a point, and then we can finish pouring out of that cup. And the reason it's in 2 cups is because the bigger cup is just, it's too big for me to pour out of, and you to be able to see what I'm doing. So take your time, make sure it's all covered. So 160, perfect. That was just the right amount. So I'm just going to check and see which one needs a little bit more. Just notice my mat's not flat. There we go. So they're not domed, they're level. If you want to dome them, I'd add about 10 more in each, so that would be 10, 20, 30, 40. You could add 40 more and dome them. But just remember, the coaster house bottom is very thin compared to the coasters. Get every nice little drop I can out of this one. Sorry about the scraping noise, but I want all my resin. So we get the last tiniest bit out. See, I do like to try and get everything out. And it also helps my measurements, because then I know exactly how much to work out to tell you to use. And I'm not going to scrape it on the side because I don't want to dislodge the clear that's underneath. And if you do that, there could be a chance that you might pull the mould away from the side and the black could go underneath. So I wouldn't recommend doing that. So both cups are empty now. Got out as much as I could. So 160. And they're flush, which is what I wanted. And the coaster house, it's not totally domed, but it's domed a little bit. So yeah, 160. We'll fill them up nicely for you, and then I shall give a debubble. So again, my flame is just licking over the top. And I know I'll have some tidying up to do on the coaster house, but unfortunately, because it's so thin when you're doing this, you can't prevent the clear from going up the sides very easily. So you will have a little bit of tidying up on the coaster house when we demold. Yeah, and that's it. So again, my colours were, the generic one I've got is chameleon pigment powder, 10 chameleon colours, and you get some really nice colours in there actually. With Let's Resin, you only get magenta as a type of pinky red, but in this box you get quite a few. This is purple, blue, red, orange, red, orange, yellow, purplish blue, green, grass green crimson, golden blue green, champagne orange, green blue purple, purplish red golden, and blue purple red, and the one that I used was flashing brown red purple. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 in there, and it's chameleon pigment powder. There's no make on it, it's just all it says on it. Yeah, there's no actual brand name on it. As you say, I've got it from Amazon, but it's just a little more selection. As I said, Let's Resin, I couldn't find any, apart from the magenta, there was no real red pinks in there. So I had a good look on Amazon, spent ages on Amazon looking for a red chameleon pigment, and that's a good set. It's got quite a few in there. So I shall cover these and leave them to set, and then I shall see you in the demold. So bye for now. Right, they're all nice and set. So first of all, we'll take out the house. Now these can be a little bit tricky to take out, so you might want to put spray some alcohol down there, but they are very flexible as well, which you can just roll it back on itself. So that's one corner. This is going to be tricky, not showing you as I'm demolding it. I'm going to demold this here, otherwise I'll be able to show it to you, and I don't want you to ruin the surprise. Right, so I've got one leg left. Just take your time. Come on, pop out. Okay. So that's our coaster house out. So I'm just going to leave that on there for the moment. These will be a bit easier. So let's demold these. Nice clean moulds, just need a little bit of a wipe up around the edges where the chameleon powder's gone over. Okay, so everything's out. Right, let's start with this then. Ready? Oh wow. Oh, look at those colours. And dragons inside. I'm really pleased. So we've got a tiny little bit of glitter in there, and the dragons inside the stands. Oh, I do like that. That's got to be one of my favourites, I think. So, oh look, purple and the blue. Can't see much of the copper or the reddish. Oh, but just look at those purples and blues. Gorgeous. Oh, you can see the copper around the outside on that one. So I've got a little bit tidying up to do in places, which isn't a problem because I sand all of my work anyway. There. And they fit nicely. I will put feet on them so they'll stand up slightly, but they fit really nicely in there. So I'm very pleased with that. I hope you enjoyed that video. I know that I've done separate crinkles before, but I've never done a whole set for you. And I just think they're very effective, aren't they? So yes, I'm very pleased with them. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. And put your pictures on our Facebook group, Dragon Creations Everything Resin, so I can see how yours turn out and what you've done differently, what your ideas are, because I would love to see them. So just join our group, and maybe you can come up with an idea that I can try. So yeah, that's our Octagonal 4 coaster set. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.